Thank you so much for being here.
We've
been very excited about having you. We're all big fans of this record, and we're all very excited about you guys. Just before I get into the more formal questions, watching you play that song and the instrumentation, which is still, despite the fact that there's a great diversity in the music world now, it's still quite an eclectic kind of instrumentation, the accordion, the trumpet. Is it prescriptive? Do you guys tell everybody what to play, or do you jam? How do you decide who's playing what in that kind of instrumentation, Nanna?
Well, it just kind of, it happened with time. It started out really acoustically, and then we just thought like it would be really cool to have an accordion, So that's how we got an accordion, and then we were like, it would be so cool to have a trumpet. So, it just kind of, it was an idea that, then just stuck with us.
And how does everybody figure out what parts they're going to play? Is it just jamming, like you workshop it, or does someone say, play this? You, Raggi, do you order everybody around?
No, definitely not. Well, I play the acoustic guitar because it's the only instrument I can play.
Right, and you play it as a lefty too,
yes.
which is interesting.
But I think we just, I don't know. It's just, Nanna, what? Why do we play the instruments we play?
I don't know.
It's probably a stupid question. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I was just curious how the instrumentation came about. So let me ask you about this. The highest charting Icelandic band in the United States ever. Nanna, what was your reaction when you heard that particular good news?
I was really shocked. I remember hearing it, then all the guys had heard it before me. So I came in and they were like, they heard it like... Yeah, they were like, whatever, old news. And I was like, oh my God.
Right.
So it was really shocking,
Yes.
It's great. It's such an honor.
Is it exciting, or does it feel like there's some kind of pressure now that with this kind of quick success?
I don't think we feel pressure.
No, it's more just exciting, I think.
Yeah.
Raggi, you went from being pretty unknown outside Iceland to all of a sudden Rolling Stone magazine is comparing you to Arcade Fire.
Yeah.
How comfortable are you with those type of comparisons?
Well, we're getting compared to great bands, so we're pretty, honored. And we don't, bother with it. I think we like being compared to good bands, but I think we have our own sound, and we know that, so...
Yeah.
I think it's a good thing. I mean, we always compare something to something. I mean, just earlier, Nanna was saying, you look just like an actor.
I do.
People make...
Is he a handsome actor, at least?
Yeah, very.
Okay, well, that's good. I don't care who it is then, as long as... I look like all the members of Arcade Fire, actually, if you put them together.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
No, and paint them brown. I guess... Part of the compliment is that there's this new strand of a fusion of rock and more acoustic sounds and eclectic instrumentation, which is Arcade Fire would represent.
Yeah.
So maybe you're part of that.
Yeah, I think we have a big band and we have a lot of instruments, so we fit the bill, kind of.
Yeah.
Who's the actor?
I don't know.
Oh, okay, good.
Maybe Ragnar knows.
Maybe Ragnar. We were all discussing it in our secret language. It looks like
Your secret language being Icelandic?
Yeah.
Right. It actually works in this area. We don't know none of the rest of us. But I'm learning it. I will. This will be an introduction of sorts for much of our audience. So let's go back. I know we don't have to actually go back too far, because, Nanna, you were a solo artist as recently as 2009. You had this solo band together. How did that mutate into what we now know as Of Monsters and Men?
Well, it was just... I don't know. I guess at one point, it's hard to play alone on stage, and it's not very fun either. So when you meet people that you like and want to create music together, it just kind of happens very naturally. And it was first just me and Brynjar, and then Raggi came, and then it was just a moment of going like, okay, we're Of Monsters and Men now. We're this band.
When was that moment? How did you know that you were a band that was more than just guys backing you up?
Well, it was just like Músíktilraunir. That was just
a competition.
The competition in
right.
Iceland. That's when we were like, okay.
This was sort of a battle of the bands in Iceland that you guys, who hadn't been together very, very long, won, right?
Yeah.
And Raggi, did you have a sense that the chemistry was there for a band that would do as well as it has so quickly when you guys actually started playing together?
Yeah, we found that there was chemistry, but we didn't know that this was going to happen, of course. So and we couldn't dream of it, really.
Yeah.
So, but I think we knew that the chemistry was there.
Yeah, I think we definitely knew.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, looking back.
Yeah.
Well, give me some insights into the workings of Icelandic music culture. I mean, I have to say, a lot of us have, I don't know if you know this, you might know this, but a lot of us have this very romantic idea of Iceland as this really, really cultural place where everybody's involved in the arts somehow. And some of us have seen the Sigur Rós movies, and we just see everybody, as really cultural people. Is that true? Is this fertile, creative place in your view?
Yeah, I mean, Iceland isn't very big, but we have a lot of bands. And we have, a lot of like
Artists
and
in general.
rich culture and stuff. I don't know if it's like because we're so small we want to make up for it or something. Like we're big,
Right.
But
Well,
yeah,
I don't know. It seems to be that way. I mean, like the mayor of our capital is a
comedian.
comedian
Yes.
and a punk. He's in a punk band or something. I
Yeah,
think.
when he was younger.
And the Reykjavik is ruled by artists now, I guess. So I think it's definitely in our culture.
The mayors of some of our cities are comedians too, but not
Right.
intentionally.
Oh.
Yeah.
I kid, but what are the reasonable expectations for a rock group, a music group in Iceland?
I think you get to maybe at least be heard on the radio in Iceland.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe travel Iceland and play there, and maybe sometimes go to Denmark or Germany. That's kind of the limits are kind of.
Yeah.
You don't start out thinking, let's take over America or something.
No,
No.
you don't. You don't.
You seem like such a modest group. Iceland is relatively small, population of 320,000, has an aquatic border. Does that kind of geography have an impact on the kind of music that's produced? In other words, can you grow up in Iceland without your music being a product of Iceland? Nanna?
No, we have like we've said this a lot of times, but like you're inspired by where you're from, So like British bands will write about anarchy in the UK, and you know what I mean. Like, but
Right.
Icelandic bands will never really write about that. It doesn't come
Yes.
really naturally,
Why not?
So-
Why doesn't anarchy come naturally?
I don't know. It's just it's not in our
No.
history
If I
or
would
something, I
live in
don't
a desert, I would write about sand and stuff. Like,
Right.
you write about what you know, really.
Yeah,
And what we know is where we're from and what surrounds us. So I guess. That's what
And
it
is that some of I mean, Iceland is this country that we associate with history, nature, even the supernatural and mythological. And in your music, you sing of, I'm looking at the lyrics, there's wolves and bees and kings and bears. I mean, even your name conjures up this kind of fairy tale world. Why do you gravitate to telling fantastical stories with your lyrics, Nanna? Does that have to do with Iceland?
In a way, I think, but it's also just like, I don't know. I just found it was because we write the lyrics together, and it was a really good way for us to connect and tell a story together. And
Yeah.
and I guess we're both just really fascinated by stories and how like anything can happen, and it's like almost childish,
Raggi, they're not.
I'm very childish.
You're very childish. Thank you. But they're not very personal, sort of linear love songs, for example, that we would
No,
see.
but-
Do you consciously avoid that?
Well, in a way, we kind of disguise it because
Yeah.
because we're writing the lyrics together, and it is weird maybe for me to go to Nanna and say, can we write a song about this girl, and she will say,
because
it's weird.
I won't connect to it,
Yeah,
so we have to
so
find the
a common
ground
ground,
that we
I guess.
Maybe
So-
a girl that you both like.
yeah.
Right?
And so we we find the common ground in a story, and we can like disguise our what's it called, experiences in
Yeah.
a story, I guess.
Yeah. Do you always write together?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's like one lyric on the album that's a love song,
Okay.
but apart from that,
It's very hard to actually write lyrics together. What
easy.
It's easy for you.
I think
it's easy.
I think it can be hard, like for some people, but I just think that we just work very well together. I think we just you know, I get stuck with something and Raggi has the answer to it, and it's just it's a prodigy of like just connecting well together. I think.
Right. Let me come back to this wild success that you're having. So, from forming in Iceland in 2010 to this hit record to appearances at major festivals, Lollapalooza, Osheaga in 2012, it's a very quick transition. Raggi, can you pinpoint when exactly things started to take off for the group? Like, what was the point? It probably wasn't that long ago where you felt, okay, this is a whole other level now.
Well, I guess, you know, I don't know. It's our first like tour started with South by Southwest, and we didn't know what to expect. But we came there and we played like 8 shows, and like the first show was in a bike shop, and it was totally full of a lot of people there, and we didn't expect it. That was kind of one thing that kind of struck us. Also, when we played in a House of Blues in Boston,
yes,
the lights came on, and it was just like stacks of rows of people, like 2,500 people.
Stacked onto each other.
Yeah, and it was a crazy sight. And also just when we like, I guess, signed our recording deal here.
Yeah, I think it's been a lot of moments where I think we're still having those moments of going like, whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, and at Lollapalooza as well, when we play the festivals and there's like 20,000 people.
Well, I saw a bit of your set at Osheaga in Montreal, and this summer I remember a stampede of people heading to the second stage where you were playing. The crowd was raucous. It was actually almost impossible to find a spot to watch you on the field. Nanna, what has that experience been like for you, going from relative obscurity to being a must-see festival act, playing for tens of thousands of people?
You know, it's weird, kind of, to be in this position. You don't really know, like, I don't know. It's hard to explain, but I think we just don't try to think about it too much.
No, the best thing is to know nothing and just do it.
Yeah, and always be pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
Right. Do you feel like rock stars?
No. I am not a rock star.
You don't feel like you're members
You're more of a rock star than me.
Aerosmith. Based on the fact that I look like an actor that you can't name. Thank you. What do you do to... You do seem like... It was funny because I'm reading these reviews and interviews with you guys, and everybody notes how down-to-earth you are. They're like, oh, they're just like guys, people you'd meet on the street, you know, friends. What do you do with each other to stay grounded during this past year, to keep it real, if you will, Raggi?
Well, I think it's easy. You just be yourself, and that's what we do. And we surround ourselves with people that we trust, and just, you know.
I think we just want to have this experience. It doesn't happen for many people, and a lot of people want this experience. And I think we just keep that in mind. Like, this isn't a thing that...
Everyone,
taka sem sjálfsagðan hlut, þú veist,
yeah, that word.
Do you talk about how do you say like we want to play Wembley or something? I mean, do you have those conversations?
No, never.
No. That's really sweet.
I wouldn't want to play Wembley now because there will maybe just like 2,500 people show up and it would be embarrassing. So when we get a proper crowd,
soon, eventually. Also, you all seem like really friends of each other. You seem like you get along really well. Is that another disguise, or is that actually?
It's so fake.
It's a mess.
That's fake. Yeah, you actually hate each other already.
Yeah,
well, that's
horrible.
good. Good to know you're continuing a long tradition. So I know I want to make enough time for you to play another song because we're excited you're performing for us here in Studio Q. But we have talked about you as storytellers, and the cheeky Wembley question aside, so far your career as a band tells a pretty surprising and dramatic story with your career so far. So what is the next chapter? What kind of story do you see being told of Monsters and Men moving forward? Where would you like this to go, Nanna?
I just really want to make a really good next album. I don't know, I'm excited for that. I'm excited for the next chapter of our music.
Raggi?
Yes. If you ask me what I want to do, it's probably just, do a better album.
A better album?
Yes, of course. I don't want to do a worse album.
Yes.
Something better, always. And, keep being able to play for more and more people. And that's it. Okay,
so Raggi wants to play for more and more people.
Yeah.
Are you willing to admit that part, you'd like that part too, Nanna?
Yeah, sure, I'd like more people.
It doesn't just have to be a good record. You want it to keep growing too.
Well, if it is a good record, then probably it keeps growing.
Right.
Possibly.
hopefully.
All right. It's such a pleasure to have you both here.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for doing it, making the time, coming in here. You're going to play, what's the next song you're going to play for us?
We're gonna play a song called King and Lionheart.
Yes. Now, can you explain anything about this song to me?
Oh, well, it was really late on the album. It was almost not gonna make
on
the
it, yeah.
album, and it's a song. Hvað getum sagt?
Bara satt.
You're speaking the secret language
Yeah.
again.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
Yeah,
I like it.
Well, it's a pretty personal song for Nanna, at least.
Yeah,
This is a more personal song.
Yeah.
it's a really personal song. Yeah, it's about my little brother, and because he lives very far away. And
Actually in Canada.
he lives in Canada. Yeah,
He lives in Canada.
He lives in Canada.
Your little brother lives in Canada.
Yeah.
Where?
in near Halifax,
Oh.
Nova Scotia.
Nice.
So, yeah. So it's like I don't get to see him a lot, and he's growing up, and I'm kind of missing out. So that's like a little like world that we can share.
Yes, and because he lives here, we can claim that some of your band is
Yeah.
Canadian then.
You can. Sure.
Nanna, Raggi, head on over there.
Oh, thank you.